After making history being only the third #1 pick in NBA history since 1969 to put up 25, 5 and 5 in his debut, Paolo Banchero has put the league on notice and will be here for a long time. In his first 6 games as a rookie, Banchero has put up amazing numbers, looking mighty comfortable already, notching 20 plus points every night. Having a good touch around the rim, natural instincts on the court, great athleticism, and the ability to knock down shots in the mid-range or behind the arc are all a part of his skill set, making him a special player. Seeing a rookie lead on the floor like he does and play with so much poise is truly generational. Most rookies ease into their game and even sometimes on the court look like they aren't ready for the big moments, but for Banchero, that's certainly not an issue. Majorly confident on the court, Paolo looks like he's been in the league for years and doesn't shy away from any challenge. Non-timid and moving fluidly on the court makes him stand out from most rookies, and it directly correlates to his early success. He's still a rookie in the league, so we're gonna see mistakes from him and the need of development in some areas, but for the most part, Banchero knows what he is doing on the court and how to put the team in the best position to win. With this Orlando Magic team being very young, it grants Paolo the opportunity to come right in and take over, allowing him to showcase everything he is capable of and why he was the #1 pick. Standing at 6'10", 250 pounds, and only being 19 years old, Banchero possesses some skills that aren't usually unlocked until a couple years playing in the league. This play right here might seem simple, but when you break it down, you actually see the IQ behind it. Once receiving the pass, Paolo knows Bogdanovic either has to commit to him or Ross since Jaden Ivey is on Suggs, so Banchero makes Bogdanovic commit to him with the dribble, and this opens up the pass for Ross for the open triple. Coming off this screen, instead of attacking downhill at 1 speed, Banchero slows down to give Capella the slight hezzy and then takes one hard dribble to get into his body and uses the inside hand to sneak it in to avoid the block. Then showing off the jumper, Paolo comes off the screen getting Richards on the switch, he sails the drive going left and then steps back while carrying the ball to his right to get comfortably into this pull-up from 26 feet. It may be early, but Banchero is showing he can affect the game in all aspects on the floor offensively, but he can also sit down on the defensive end and affect the outcome of all shots. At the moment, Paolo has a 42.9 defensive field goal percentage, which is right on pace to Rudy Gobert's 41.6% in the year he won Defensive Player of the Year. Now, are the game sample sizes drastically different? Of course, but if Banchero continues to just improve on his game, making leaps going forward, then he will be a definitive threat on the defensive end as well. This exact block right here reminds me of something special we saw from LeBron years ago. As Paolo gets the ball stripped, he hustles back to then smack this lay off the glass with ease. Then he gets the outlet pass and sets up Hampton for the 3 at the other end. Showing off the athleticism and speed defensively, Banchero can realistically hold his own against guards or bigs, and this makes his defensive upside so bright. Being a player that's not a liability on switches is a huge W for any team, and when you get someone who can hound and keep up with any offensive player, this makes things that much better. With Paolo having an NBA ready frame, it's not normal for rookies to come in knowing exactly how to use it to their advantage, but Banchero uses his quickness and muscle correctly to be a great finisher around the basket. Catching in a post position on Tatum, Paolo immediately turns to attack the rim, gets low to muscle Tatum out the way while spinning off, and stays focused to finish the lay past the Williams help. You can see the patience and control on display as Paolo sets up Randle and then gets low, quickly crossing past him into the paint, and with Randle all on his side, Banchero uses that left hand to place it high off the glass with some English to drop it in. Banchero seems to never really get sped up, and he plays at his own pace, almost to the point where it looks like the game is really slowed down for him. He can take defenders off the dribble and get to the rim with ease, but Paolo also is great at noticing open spaces on the floor to then put himself in the position to go get an easy bucket. Instead of staying out on the perimeter on this scramble off the tip pass, once Wendell gets the ball, Banchero flashes middle to get the pass and finishes the warm-up dunky. Now look at this play, the great IQ of Paolo is on display here as he tells Carter to throw it to Franz because he has a smaller Dennis Smith Jr. on him, and this makes Smith front him to stop that pass, but Carter never swings it over, so Paolo shifts to the inside, making it an easy pass for Wendell and lays it home. Constantly moving on the offensive end, when the ball is swung over, Paolo moves from that free throw line to the mid-post area, then drops down to the low post baseline area once Wendell gets the ball, and then detonates on the defender at the rim. Finishing 60% of his 35 layup attempts this season, being able to get past the defense with his aggression, athleticism, and being very agile, Banchero is on track to be a dominant paint threat. Teams are going to have a hard time stopping him, and we can already see that when getting to the line. Banchero is a 75% free throw shooter on 8 attempts per game, and I believe he will get up to around 80%, so this is not a place you want to keep sending him. Let's say the defense is successful in keeping him out the paint as much, well his scoring doesn't just stop there, as Banchero is capable of knocking down jumpers as well. Maybe not as efficient as he is when finishing down low, Banchero is still a decent shot creator and can go get a bucket at any time. Having a pretty swift handle at his size gives him a huge advantage when having bigs out on isolation, and as he attacks Diakite's closeout hard, Paolo hits him with the hezzy through the legs behind the back cross, and then sidesteps to create some space to knock it down from 18 feet. A guy his size usually doesn't have a pretty tight handle like this, so when you see it, it's automatically a special sight to see. Christian Wood has happy feet guarding Banchero on the step back jumper, and then schooling the vet and Blake Griffin off this turnaround fade, Banchero is showing signs he can be a capable shot creator in this in-between area. He'll just have to lock in and focus a little more. The same goes for his 3-point shooting, knocking it down at a 32% clip on 4 attempts per game. Banchero isn't the worst shooter from deep, and although he will need improvement, it's alright for now. Shooting it with no hesitation and much confidence, when watching the Magic play, you can see Paolo calls for it all the time on the 3, and he has his feet set ready to let it fly. Whether it's creating off the dribble or being in the right place on the court to receive the pass, in time Paolo will become a dependable floor spacer for the Orlando Magic. But just when you contain Paolo and slow down all the ways of him scoring the ball, he showcases his passing skill set. When being a forced slasher, it'll make the defense collapse a lot more, which will open up kickouts to the perimeter or backdoor cuts. And Paolo is doing very well distributing the ball at these moments. Coming off the screen, Paolo makes the help defender commit even more to block off the drive, and it's just a simple pass over to Suggs for the open 3. Then after running PJ Washington off the screen, Paolo shifts him with this in and out crossover, and once Richards jumps to help, Banchero wraps it around his body for the Mamba Slam. Not only is he making good reads when driving, but Banchero can also make the correct reads on the pick and rolls as well. This time throwing it over the top of the defense for the bold dunk, and then being the roller here, Banchero is already turning his head before catching the pass and zips it across court to Anthony for the pull-up J. Paolo is a special rookie, and this honestly doesn't come around often. A 6'10 forward who plays like a guard at times, taking you off the dribble to attack the rim or pull up for the jumper is spectacular. Offensively, Paolo is a threat in the paint and is hard to contain on the floor, and then when we flip sides to the defensive end, Paolo is no slouch and can cause tons of havoc. The future is bright for Paolo Banchero, and I believe he will win Rookie of the Year. I know it's really early to say this, but given if he stays healthy, then I definitely think he will continue to build on this great base and become an elite player. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like before you head over to watch this Brandon Ingram analysis or watch this Giannis breakdown versus the Nets. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.